If you don't know this man, then you probably know someone like him. He's one of those people who can't take anything seriously.
Yeah, it is actually the same gag. But you see, the thing is, I like it a lot. It was a quiet Saturday night. I was surrounded by cans of Stella and empty pizza boxes, and I didn't know what to do with my day. I eventually decided to pop on a movie on Amazon Prime called Broken Rage, directed by the legendary Takeshi Kitano. For reference, because I'm not able to show any footage from Amazon Prime just in case I get a copyright strike, Amazon Prime has left me no choice but to show footage of Takeshi Kitano throwing a baby in Yakuza 6. Kitano is the director as well as the starring lead. He plays an old man called Mouse, a seemingly unassuming old man who is actually a hitman. After killing several targets, he's finally caught by the police. In exchange for his freedom, he infiltrates a gang so he can catch them in the act. After gaining the family's trust and conducting a drug deal, the crime family are caught in the act and Kitano gets off scot-free. So, wait, hold up a minute. This is only 27 minutes. The film is over already. Huh, that was kind of dull. It's a pretty plodding, by-the-numbers movie, which is sadly directed by someone that might be past his prime, until the film does a complete 180 midway through. At around 27 minutes, where it seems like the story has reached its conclusion, the film starts over again. The entire story of Broken Rage happens again, but this time it's a complete piss take. In the first telling of the story, Kitano is a very effective hitman who never makes mistakes. In the second retelling, he's a complete bumbling fool. Some of the funnier antics that happen in the second half of the film include Kitano accidentally killing the wrong person, Asano trying to force Kitano to talk by playing a game of Five-Finger Fillet, Kitano accidentally setting fire to his own apartment, Takeshi sometimes dresses up as a mouse and says squeak, because the joke is that his name is Mouse in the film. Get it? And a Mexican standoff that ends up turning into a game of musical chairs. In the first half of the film, the main characters conduct a drug deal, and in the second half, they make fun of this drug deal. The joke is that Kitano drives into the other guy's vehicle. Now, in the film, this isn't really funny, but what is funny is that Kitano keeps cutting to a stream chat. In the stream chat, there are mixed reactions here. In fact, one of the people in the chat actually says, "What's the joke?" Others praise the film as being really funny, while others demand a refund. The segments with the stream chat works both ways. On one hand, Kitano definitely knew there was going to be a mixed reaction to this film, where people would have reactions like this, where they would find some of the jokes very puzzling. But on the other hand though, it's almost like a defense mechanism from Kitano. In a way, it's an excuse for some of the jokes not landing, where the joke is, it's supposed to be bad. Whether or not this was Kitano's intention is not known. And funnily enough, in real life, Broken Rage had a pretty mixed reaction like this as well. This film seems to have a very low budget, but I think I know why this is. It's because the budget clearly went into the cast, because we have surprisingly got an insane all-star cast here. Obviously, we've got Takeshi Kitano, but we also have Asano here, who's most well known for Shogun and Mortal Kombat, professional wrestler Jun Akiyama, who you might know from Pro Wrestling Noah, and of course, what would a Japanese Yakuza movie be without actors from the Yakuza series, as well as this guy, who was this guy in Yakuza 6. We've also got this guy from Yakuza 2 Kiwami, and of course, Nakamura Shido II, who you might know as everyone's second favorite orphan, this guy! It should also be noted as well that Kitano himself was also in Yakuza 6, so this film has one villain from Yakuza 3, one from Kiwami 2, and two villains from 6. There are some films where there's clearly no budget, and it's kind of sad watching said film where the actors are trying their best. But Kitano makes the most of this low budget and makes fun of himself, and he completely embraces the insanity of this film. Kitano portrays himself as a very effective and intimidating hitman even at the age of 80, but then makes fun of himself in the second half of the film. It kind of makes me wonder if Kitano was making fun of other actors/directors that still portray themselves as being tough guys despite their old ages. To be honest, the first person that kind of came to mind was Clint Eastwood. I haven't seen Juror Number 2 yet because I've heard that's his best film in years. Eastwood is still a great filmmaker, but it's very suspicious that he still casts himself as being a tough guy when he's about 5,000 years old. I've never seen Cry Macho, but I remember watching the trailer years ago where he punches a man in the face, and I remember cringing.
My God! She's very, 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 very slowly coming towards us!
Even though Takeshi Kitano at heart is a comedian, there's a lot of films he's directed such as Violent Cop, where he plays a very intimidating character. And that is how Broken Rage starts, is Kitano as a very effective hitman despite his own age. However, unlike Eastwood, Kitano, being a comedian, can actually make fun of himself, and ultimately knows his own limitations. In the trailer of Broken Rage, it says this is a new experiment. What this is an experiment in, I'm not quite sure. There are a lot of ways you can read this film. Is this film a parody of old filmmakers who may be past their prime and maybe need to stop? Does this make fun of old veteran actors who still try to act intimidating and tough even in their 80s? You could also read into it that maybe Kitano just wanted a paycheck. If I called Takeshi Kitano a troll, that would be somewhat of an understatement. I've tried to see online what Takeshi Kitano himself thinks about this film, and unfortunately a lot of the interviews don't have English subtitles. The closest I came, however, is by seeing a video where he was speaking about this film at the Venice Film Festival. According to the description of the video, it actually says that Kitano was quite surprised that Broken Rage was shown at the festival, and the title of the video even says, "I should have been more serious." I'm sure Kitano was semi-joking about this, but I hope he's not too disappointed by how this film came out, because honestly, I find it quite inspiring. Kitano isn't the youngest, and he may have not had the biggest budget, but he clearly had a lot of fun making this film, and I'm sure it was an honor for Asano and Nakamura to work with Kitano. On one hand, Takeshi Kitano is known for his insane style of comedy. After all, this is the same genius who made Takeshi's Castle. But on the other hand, he is a well-renowned filmmaker who has made some very, very disturbing and bleak films. Broken Rage, however, feels like a tribute to both of those styles. On one hand, it starts off as a very serious crime drama, but then it ends as a completely absurd comedy. Some of the comedy doesn't really land and is kind of naff, but when it does land, it is very funny. There's probably no real meaning towards this film, it probably was just made for a quick paycheck, but you know what? It's only 60 minutes long. Give it a watch. Even if you think it's stupid and unfunny, you've only wasted an hour of your life. As far as I'm considered, it doesn't matter how old you are, if you still love doing something, then you should never stop doing it. God bless Kitano.